Talkin' Country.
You're listening to Talkin' Country with Paul Taylor.
Hi, welcome to my channel, Talking Country, where we'll be chatting to the stars of country music from around the world, whether it's in Nashville, Australia, UK, Ireland. You'll get it here first. If you like us, subscribe and give us the big thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Shoulder, spirits rising. With every step they get bolder. The long dark highway stretched like a snake out before me. I'm hoping someday it'll take me to where I'm belonging. Watch me turn into
one. Well, that was a great song called Expiration Day by Jason Charles Miller. And he's actually on the line. Where are you at the moment, Jason?
Right now I'm in Los Angeles. So
oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I bet that's warm.
Glad to join you. Actually, it's raining today, which is kind of crazy because it rains like 5 days a year, and I guess I caught it on the right day.
It's raining. My God. And England, that's normally raining, it's quite warm, actually. It's about 20, it's probably about 70 degrees, something like that. Yeah, so we've got it all going on at the moment here. But thank you for coming on the show for us. I really appreciate that. And I mean, we'll talk a lot more about your career as well, because it's quite a varied career, which I'd like to get my teeth into. But tell us more about the brand new album. It's a great album. And then, you know, you've got called From the Wreckage, Part 1. So I imagine there's going to be a part 2.
In the works.
Oh,
I'm actually finishing it off this week. You know, look, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that is the fact that everything shut down for a year and a half.
Did it? I didn't know.
And when that happened, you know, different people responded different ways. And what I decided to do was I'll give you a little bit of, you know, insider stuff here. I had just gotten out of my deal with Sony. Yeah. And so therefore I knew that before I signed a deal with someone else, I have all this material that I can release independently, that maybe it wasn't right for the last album, or it wasn't right for 2 albums ago. Maybe an A&R executive had a bad coffee that day and decided that the song that I loved, he hated. You know, there's so many things that go into songs that are picked for an album when you're signed to a label, and they're decided by committee. What I did was I took a bunch of songs that I have believed in the whole time that either didn't fit thematically with the last few albums, or like I said, an executive didn't like it or something. And I'm putting those out now. So that's what the sort of the theme of From the Wreckage is. It's like from the wreckage of these relationships that I had, business and personal, I guess. And so there are brand new songs on there, but then there are also just unreleased songs that I either fully recorded along the way or almost recorded, and now I'm going back in the studio to finish. And so part 2 is going to come out later this year. And then I have a new album that I'm going to put out in 2022 that I've already halfway through recording that one as well. So I'm just pumping them out.
You know, again, with lockdown, people have got a lot of time on their hands, haven't they? And then, you know, that creative juice. But I think what's big applause to yourself is the fact that you've gone out and got your own label for the, you know, to fit the, you know, these vehicles that you've got, and you want to say something and produce. And I know a few artists. I think one of the ones I've seen over here a few times and met him is Aaron Watson from Texas. And he sort of like had every door shut in Nashville for one thing and another. And he said, I'm going to do my own label. And he ended up having a #1 album and things like that, you know. So it's great. It's all applaudits to yourself, really. Is that something that you've always secretly wanted to do? No, you said the deal with Sony, but even before Sony, was that something that you thought to yourself you're going to go down?
Yeah, I mean, I had done it at various points in my career, and then even with my old band Godhead, like we were on a couple of labels where later we got the rights back and then we released them ourselves. I mean, look, it's an uphill climb for anyone all the time. You can be relevant today and not relevant tomorrow, and then we're always fighting for relevancy. So launching your own label is scary because you call all the shots, you make all the decisions, you hire the publicity team, the marketing team, all of that. And you need to have some infrastructure in place to do that. It would be extremely hard for a brand new artist to do that. So I'm fortunate that I've had a good career and knew the right people to hire, and, you know, put some money aside for that and all of that. I mean, it's, you know, we go from nowadays, if you're an artist, you also have to be a producer, You also have to be a business person.
Yeah.
You have to sort of understand every aspect of the business, or you'll hit roadblocks. I was thinking about this as I was walking my dogs this morning in the rain, who do not like the rain, by the way, because they don't know what it is. They're like, what is this?
What?
Strange. The sky's dumping on me. What is this? And by the way, I grew up in rural Virginia. I grew up in Fairfax County, Virginia, where we had rain all the time. So coming to California, now I've lived here for 20 years. I can't even believe that. But, living in California has been a shock in that way, as far as we don't really have seasons here in Southern California. It's just summer, and then it's fire season where everything's on fire.
Yeah, we always catch up on the news, which is devastating, isn't it? Really,
I know.
But I tell you, listening on your record, and again, I think this will probably lend itself to. It might be somewhere where you're thinking of going, but I know more and more artists that I've interviewed recently are going along the way of casting one eye on themes for movies or for TV series. Because I liken some of your music, and again, this is the greatest respect, mixture between Tarantino movies, and Mad Max.
Thanks. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, looking at some of the videos as well, and the kind of image being broadcast, I could see it in From Dusk Till Dawn kind of movie, do you get what I'm coming from with that?
Absolutely. To get a song placed in a movie or a TV show is always a crapshoot, so to speak, because the music supervisor has to like it, and then the director has to like it. So it's not so much that I'm writing songs in hopes that they get placed in movie or TV, but I think that I try to make it a little bit left of center, a little bit more unique, to stand out from a lot of the cookie cutter stuff that comes out now. Yeah. And I think that sometimes that'll pique somebody's interest, just enough for them to go, oh, that was an interesting change, or, oh, that's an interesting instrument there, or whatever they're doing there. And then, but not so much that it's off-putting. I don't know. It's that weird, thread that we have, the needle we have to thread.
But I mean, looking at some of the plaudits you've got, I mean, Billy Ray Cyrus being one of them, and also Blueberry Smoke, they're very much, fans of yours. And I recently interviewed a few people, Nashvillians as well, who are up and coming in Nashville, and they've got that kind of vibe going on where it's gritty kind of country rock. Yeah.
I think that's something that the fans have liked for a really long time.
Yeah.
Blackberry Smoke is a perfect example of that. But that maybe the establishment didn't realize it. So now that the establishment is realizing it, it's really fun, because it's great to see bands like that enjoying huge success. And I'm so proud because I have a co-writing credit on the new Blackberry Smoke album, which is cool. So the song Old Scarecrow, which I recorded on my album In the Wasteland, and I actually had Charlie, the singer from Blackberry Smoke, sing on it. They then recorded their own version of it on their new album.
Oh, awesome.
And it was a song that originally he wrote with Ricky Metlock from Lynyrd Skynyrd, sent it to me. I put my own spin on it, and then they took it and put their own. It's cool to hear both versions out there.
Oh, wow. I'll have to check that out. I mean, like I said, on the new album, you've got some great, the great and good to back you up as well. You've got Tim McGraw's guitarist as well. I mean, how did that come about?
I am, as you probably can guess, I'm a pretty gregarious person. I get that from my mom. Like, my mom is the kind of person to where, like, if she's coming to visit me and she gets off the plane, she'll be like, this is my new friend that I sat next to on the plane. She becomes friends with everyone all the time, anywhere she goes. And I think that rubbed off on me. So I am super gregarious. I will walk up to people and just start talking to them. With Adam, we met because a publisher put us together in a co-writing room, and we started writing together and became friends that way. But if I'm ever like put in a songwriting appointment with someone, like I'm their friend for the rest of their life. I love people and I love to make connections, and that what I found is really the key to the entertainment business in general is that you don't want to be overbearing, but you just want to be yourself. Like, don't be afraid to approach people or just be friendly, and things will happen from that. We can maybe save that for the advice part.
Yeah, but no, it is quite relevant because when I started work, and I didn't go to college. I just started work from school. I live about 15 miles away from Liverpool, home of the Beatles and stuff. Oh no, Liverpool. You're not an Everton fan.
Okay, well, look, I don't know if you noticed what I'm wearing right now.
Oh yes,
it's an old Wolves shirt.
Yes.
So
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
League, but we can talk about that later.
Oh yeah. I've been to that stadium many a time. But,
oh man, I want to go so bad. Molyneux, right?
Yeah, Molyneux. Yeah, right in the middle of Wolverhampton. But yeah, when you said Everton, I thought, where's the exit button here? I'm going to cut him off.
I know Liverpool. Yeah, it made me think. It just made me start to think of the teams. So
no, good shout. Keep me on my toes. But what was it? I've lost all. Oh yeah. I'd started work, and somebody gave me a piece of advice. An old foreman gave me the best piece of advice I have ever had in my life, and he just said, "Paul, it's always nice to be nice." And I went, "There you go. That sums it up, isn't it?" Because pardon the expression, but badass people in the music industry, especially, they get alienated and they'll have their fans and whatever, but they become unapproachable from everybody else. So there's no organic growth from them. They're sort of in their own box, aren't they?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's always nice to be nice. It's a perfect motto to have, because when you're working with other people in the industry, if you show up on time and are a pleasure to work with, and you already have the talent, like of course you got to be talented. You've got to put in the hard work, and you've got to, be able to produce, in whatever form that is. You've got to bring the goods, so to speak. But if you can do that and also be fun and a pleasure to work with, I think that people are going to remember that, and they will think of you when you're needed for something. So yeah, that's always really important.
No, it is. It's true. I mean, I know we were just talking before we went on air that you've got a couple of gigs coming up, and you're thinking, "Oh my God!"
Right? Yeah, I have my first gig back. A country singer by the name of Joe Peters, who is really blowing up in Bakersfield, California. Which is like Merle Haggard and and others.
Buck Owens, the amazing Buck Owens.
Crystal, I think it is called the Crystal Palace. It's funny, another Premier League. But yeah. So he invited me onto a show of his, which is actually on Friday, the 11th. I think this is it'll air before this that show, and so I'm a little bit. I got to admit, I'm a little bit apprehensive, because I'm like, what's it going to be like? Like, are people going to show up? Like, are they going to be excited? Like, is everyone like, what are people going to act like? I don't even know. So I'm just going to prepare for it, and I'm excited. But that is something that at one point, we thought, like, when are we going to play shows again?
Yeah.
Who knows? And it's nice to see that that's slowly coming back.
Certainly from afar, when I've seen on Facebook that crowds seem to be coming back. Over here, it's absolute slow, very, very slow, and there are a few gigs. I mean, I've been a performer for about 20 years myself, and I've got some gigs this month. So this afternoon, because we're 7 hours in front of yourself in Vegas, in Los Angeles. But I booked a local rehearsal room, and it goes in blocks of 4 hours. And I said, "Oh, I won't need the 4 hours. You're okay." I did. Before I knew it, the 4 hours went.
Yeah.
So I went through something like, 50 songs, getting the sound levels right, you know, on the PA and the vocals. And I was panicking. I thought, will I be able to do the interviews tonight because my voice is going?
Oh man,
I've not done anything since October, you know, and my fingers are hurting.
One of the things that I'm really happy for is that early on, I launched my own Twitch channel.
Oh, right.
And so twice a week for over a year, I play free concerts twice a week on my Twitch channel.
Wow.
And on Monday nights, I call it Miller's Music Mondays, and I have a guest, and I run it like a songwriter round, and we go back and forth, and I'll play a song, my guest will play a song, we talk a little bit, we go back and forth. And then on Wednesday nights, I just do a request show. I have a list of like 180 songs that I know how to play, covers, originals, and you know, if whatever you want me to play, I'll play it, and it's kept my chops up, you know.
Yay.
So at least in that, you know, I'm thankful for that I hopefully can. I'm sure it'll be a different feeling of nervousness and strangeness being in front of people whose eyes I can see, rather than looking at a screen and reading the scrolling lines to the right. But
I was going to say, go to the local fashion store and just say, listen, can I hire your mannequins for about a day? And get about 10 mannequins in front of you in your room and just play, you know, the night before, just to get that vibe and get some applause going on in an MP3 format or something. You know?
Yeah, that might be helpful.
Don't get the booing one. Don't get the app with the booing. Oh no, don't do that. But no, I mean, you've had a very varied career. So tell us. I mean, obviously you've had a rock band. You've toured with Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. So tell us more about that. How did it all start for you? What was that light bulb moment to get into music?
Really, apparently it was when I was about 4 years old. I was on a train from DC to New York with my parents, and there was a train car in the back that was like a little entertainment lounge kind of thing, and there was a guy back there hired to be the entertainment, supposedly, and he would play some songs, and people were kind of like lacklustering, plotting, because according to my dad. And he said, does anybody else want to sing? And apparently I was like, well, I'll sing. And I got up and I sang Country Roads by John Denver and brought the house down. So that put the bug in me forever from 4 years old on to seeing a crowd erupt and just wanting to recapture that feeling ever since.
I love John Denver. One of my uncles, he was a big fan. And, you know, when I was growing up, I listened to a lot of John Denver, and he got me into that sort of vibe, you know. And I still to this day, one of my favorite Christmas albums of all time is Rocky Mountain Christmas by John Denver. I think it's just phenomenal, you know, music.
When I was a kid, my favorite Christmas album was John Denver and the Muppets.
Oh.
That was the first cassette I ever bought, was John Denver and the Muppets Family Christmas.
Well, you remind me a little bit of the drummer Animal, so you know you're not far off.
Okay,
you'll have that one.
Fair, that's fair.
But no, so I mean, obviously you ventured into rock music with Godhead, you know, and then you know, how long did that sort of last for with yourself?
Quite a bit, probably. 15-ish years at least, and we had a great run from and I played England many times, and I've even played Liverpool a few times with Godhead, and you know, there was a time like in the early 2000s when, you know, it was a whirlwind. Like we weren't home more than a couple of days out of the year.
Wow.
So we toured with Marilyn Manson, Linkin Park, Disturbed, Rammstein. We were on the Ozfest, of course, with Black Sabbath that year, Black Label Society. You know, it you name it. Like we probably toured with them, anybody that was big in that early 2000s era.
Wow.
A little bit later, we toured with Jonathan Davis of Korn. You know, so I mean, I had such an amazing career in that way, and But what was happening was every label that we were on after one release went out of business. So like when we were signed, Marilyn Manson signed us to his label Posthuman, which was part of Priority Records, because back then if an artist had a label, usually had a bigger label pay for it, you know. So Priority, which was owned by EMI, decided that they wanted to merge Priority into Capitol Records. So then we found ourselves on a new parent label that already had a whole rock roster and wasn't interested in us anymore. And so I have the dubious distinction of I've never been signed to Capitol Records, but I've been dropped by Capitol Records. And then then we were on another label. And what people probably, you know, what a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure you know this though, is that your behind the scenes team is so important, right? So it was like new management, new publicist, new radio promotions team, new marketing team. And every time if the cogs in the machine aren't working properly, or they have to stop and then start back over again, it just becomes more of a chore to get things going. I mean, every major artist that you see today had a great behind the scenes team helping them get there. It doesn't mean that they weren't talented. It just means that they had a lot of other people making calls, getting them on the right tour to open for the artists that they're similar to, that they know their fans would like, you know, getting their album promoted in the right press area, now it's like getting them on the right playlists, all that kind of stuff. That really matters. It doesn't have a lot to do with talent, although you need to be talented to get in that position. So that kind of, we were seeing diminishing returns. And so I decided that I wanted to start doing solo music that was nothing like Godhead. And, you know, growing up in the country and loving country music as a kid, and really getting into the heart of storytelling with songs, I decided to put out something that was just me and a guitar and just totally stripped down, because Godhead had a lot of electronics, we had a lot of programming, we had a lot of moving pieces. And so that's how my solo career sort of manifested itself organically. And now here I am, you know, 10 plus years after that.
Yeah, because like I said, there are elements right throughout, you know, your music when you've gone solo that has that kind of country rock kind of vibe going through, you know, pretty much every song really, you know, which is good. And like you said, it stands out because like you was on about the sort of cookie cutting kind of music at the moment, you know, there seems to be an awash of charts, you know, singles in the charts that are all same beat, you know, same theme, you know, tailgates, beer, that kind of thing.
Tailgates, beer, and dirt roads.
Dirt roads, yeah, which is fine, you know. And like I said, there's some I like, some I don't, and it's all about taste. And you know what's one man's or one woman's like is not another person's like, you know. So, but I do, and certainly more recently, like a lot of the sort of country rock, gravel, and grit. Yeah. You know, like I said, stuff that would actually not go out of place in a film, in a cop drama going through the forests in Canada, that kind of, you know, looking for murderers, you know, that kind of thing.
Sure,
because,
yeah.
You know, because I was interviewing, was it H. Jack Williams recently, and he's very much into, you know, some of the Netflix stuff like Yellowstone and writing with Kevin Costner, and he's had certain, you know, elements of his music and stuff. And I said, yeah, as soon as he said it, I went, yeah, I can see that, you know? Yeah. But no, I mean, like I said, it's great to stand, like I say, stand out in the crowd, go on your own terms. But before we sort of conclude, and I'll say we play a lot more of your music as well from the new album. There's a question I ask pretty much every artist from America.
Sure.
The the statue in The Rock, which is, and it's just gone out of my head as well. Oh, Mount Rushmore. Every week it goes out my head. Mount Rushmore's got 4 heads chiseled out in stone of people in American history. You've got the chisel. You're going to put 4 heads of people that's actually inspired you throughout your life. Who would you replace those heads with?
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, it's funny because for the longest time, my favorite band was The Cure, and they're British. So, but I'm thinking about people that inspired me. I would put Johnny Cash, and then I would put the 3. No, they're Canadian. Dang it!
No. It doesn't have to be American. It can be anybody who's inspired you.
Okay, if it doesn't have to be American, so I would put Johnny Cash, Robert Smith, Geddy Lee from Rush, and Ronnie Van Zant from Lynyrd Skynyrd. How about that?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've had a few artists saying, listen, I've got the chisel. I want to put a 5 and 6 on there. So you do whatever you want, but
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But it's a good insight to where an artist is when you ask that question, because they come up with different things. Some people are more family oriented. Some people are more of the songwriter orientated. But Johnny Cash has come up probably pretty much most of.
I mean, it's got it. He's an icon of American music, so there's no way that you cannot put him there.
No, totally. Well, if he had a hat on, I'd take my hat off, definitely, to that one. But no, I mean, like I said, mate, thank you so much for coming on to the show. Like I said, we'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end, as well as a liner, if you will, my friend. But I wish you good luck with the album. It's a brilliant album. Just tell everybody where we can get it, and obviously your website.
Yeah, if you can remember my name, Jason Charles Miller, that's my website, jasoncharlesmiller.com, and that's my name in all social media. And I'm really active on social media too. I also I have a lot of hobbies, and I try to post almost every day just so people can learn all about me. And so if you're looking for content, follow me on social media.
Yeah, I'll have to follow you on Facebook as well. And but yeah, like I said to you just before we recorded, and to the audience, this will be going on the YouTube channel that I have, which is Talking Country UK. But good luck with your gigs coming up. Wish you, and as I said, with the album, and obviously future albums as well, which like I said, we wait with bated breath from The Wreckage Part 2. The return of, is it in brackets? Right. The Empire Strikes Back. But no, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. You take care.
Thanks, you too.